This is Nathan Fantasy Football League Updates. Today, we recap an exciting first round of the playoffs and get you all the incredible offense that went down, upsets, and more ahead. And we get you my round 2 predictions. All that and more next.
Love it.
Nathan, Fantasy Football League Updates, welcome back. What an exciting first round of the playoffs, and we're already into round 2. Some absolute craziness went down. Let's waste no more time, though. Jumping into this one, of course, the Rough Riders get an easy victory against the bye week. They win 152-0, of course. And then the Bowling Green Cave Shrimp, thankful for the bye week, they won 138-0. They would have lost every other playoff game with how many points to anybody with how many points were scored this week in the playoffs. So Bowling Green, very, very happy for that bye week that they've earned. So they will look to recuperate next week after a low-scoring first round of the playoffs. So we go first into the losers bracket. The bottom half of the losers bracket saw the Flying Squirrels take on the Groundhogs, and it was the Flying Squirrels coming away with a huge victory, 159-108. You look at it for the Groundhogs, 23 points from Jaden Daniels, and then 19 from Jonnu Smith. Disappointing games from both of your receivers. Cooper Kupp scores a donut, and so does Darnell Mooney with a disappointing 0. Travis Kelce was pretty disappointed too with only 6. Big miss off the bench, James Cook with 26 fantasy points, and not much else going for you on your bench. For the Flying Squirrels, they get a huge performance from James Conner, who puts up 30. They get 26 from Chase Brown and 37 from Amon-Ra St. Brown. So 3 very high scores. And the big miss off the bench, Xavier Worthy with 19 and Lad McConkey with 16. Our second matchup in the losers bracket, so winner plays winner, loser play loser. The Empire Strikes Back took down the Zest Meisters 184-138. The Empire heated up at the wrong time, though. Jared Goff dropped 41 fantasy points in that high-scoring game between the Lions and Bills. Well, Baker Mayfield added 28. Justin Jefferson added 20, 17 from Puka, and 32 from the rookie Brian Thomas Jr. Big miss in the lineup, Saquon Barkley only 9. Big miss off the bench would be 12 from Travis Etienne. Looking at the Zest Meisters, they got an impressive 36-point performance from Lamar and 17 from Nico Collins, but that's about it. They, with an injury to Kenneth Walker there to start, Kenny McIntosh, who got 0.9 fantasy points. Big miss off the bench, 20 points for Keenan Allen. So the Zest Meisters will square off against the Groundhogs, and the Empire Strikes Back will take on the Flying Squirrels in the losers bracket. Let's get to the winners side. And it was very exciting. We'll start with the 3-6 matchup. How about an upset? The Bay City Bunnies take down the Ithaca Iguanas 160-155. This one came down to Monday Night Football, and Aaron Jones did not disappoint. He dropped 18 fantasy points, outscored Brock Bowers on Monday Night Football, who only managed 6. So put it in the win column, a 5-point victory for the 6-seeded Bunnies. They also got a great performance from A.J. Brown, who got in the end zone with 25. Terry McLaurin scored twice for 26. And how about Sam Laporta? Good game from him for 18. Chiefs defense really helped out with 22. Big miss off the bench, Quentin Johnston with 15. Now, looking at the Ithaca Iguanas, they didn't even play bad. They scored 155, another huge offensive performing team. They've been great all season, but they lose in these high-scoring games. It's tragic for them, as Jalen Hurts put up 28. They got 16 from Joe Burrow, 26 from CeeDee Lamb, 19 from T. Higgins, and 17 from Alvin Kamara. But David Montgomery getting 7 and now being out for the season hurts. Brock Bowers only getting 6 also does not help out. And they even got a 5-point playoff advantage. Big miss off the bench, though, 13 from Bucky Irving. Would have gotten the win there with Bucky Irving starting this week. So a tough goodbye to the Ithaca Iguanas, who honestly were a very good favorite to win it all. Then we go to the other matchup, the 4-5, Brisbane Bay Bandicoots, Michigan Avengers, and another heartbreaking upset. This one, a massive offensive implosion. Michigan Avengers get 192 to the Brisbane Bay Bandicoots 187. So the defending champs upset win, and now they're moving on to the semifinal round. And Patrick Mahomes scored 15, but he might be missing some time, so a tough blow there for the Avengers. But they'd get 30 from Aaron Rodgers, 28 from Jahmyr Gibbs, 36 from Mike Evans, welcome back, 15 from DJ Moore, and 17 from the Cowboys defense, and 15 from Brandon Aubrey. But it was DJ Moore's 15-point performance that got it done on Monday night, because the Brisbane Bay Bandicoots only got 14 from Bijan Robinson as they were already trailing. They got some big help from Devontae Adams, who scored 42, 17 from Jordan Love, 18 from Jamar Chase, and 24 from Malik Neighbors, and 19 from the Broncos defense. Big miss off the bench on both sides. Rashad Bateman had 23 for the Avengers, and Drake May had 17. On the other side, Jackson Smith and Jigba with 18, and Brenton Strange, the tight end for the Jaguars, also chipped in 18. So again, another tough way for a team to be eliminated. The two highest scorers in the fantasy league have now been eliminated from the playoffs, and that now leaves the 5-seeded Michigan Avengers to take on the 1-seeded Rocky River Rough Riders, and the 6-seeded Bay City Bunnies will take on the Bowling Green Cave Shrimp. A lot of 2021 history. We'll get into that next with my predictions. Here we go. Second week of the playoffs. Some teams will be headed to the losers bracket and to the losers finale match. Well, two teams will square it off for the championship. We know it's going to be two teams have a chance to win their second title, one in the repeat, or the defending champions, the Michigan Avengers, the other, the Bay City Bunnies, who won all the way back in year one in 2021. Well, the Bowling Green Cave Shrimp look to get back to the championship game and finally win after multiple second place finishes. The Rocky River Rough Riders trying to do the unthinkable, be the lowest scoring team offensively in the league and win the championships. Some great storylines. And for the Avengers, the Bunnies, and the Cave Shrimp, they will finish top 4 for the 4th consecutive year. Those are 3 teams that can definitely be classified as the blue bloods of the league. So let's waste no more time now. We'll start in the losers bracket, in the loser bracket game. So the two teams that have already lost, the Groundhogs taking on the Zestmeisters. They did split in 2024, but the Groundhogs do lead the all-time series. These were some good games, but I really need to highlight, some of these key matchups and key players. For the Groundhogs, Jaden Daniels has a tough matchup against Philadelphia. I don't know if he's going to overcome a tough matchup like that. Same with Devon Achane. Tough 49ers defense, going to be tough for them to get over the hump. New addition, welcome back in Marvin Harrison Jr., who plays the Panthers. I think he plays pretty well. Cooper Kupp has a bounce-back game, and Jonnu Smith will be your lone tight end this week. I think he plays pretty well against the 49ers. I think you do get a good game from James Cook. On the other side for the Zestmeisters, though, 20-plus performance from Lamar. He's really trying to push for that MVP, especially with the pace Josh Allen's on. Kenneth Walker, I think, will be healthy this week, but doesn't play great. Chuba Hubbard does, though. So does Nico Collins. But some of these matchups, especially against the Dolphins, these 49ers players, I think, struggle a little bit in Kittle and Jennings, but they'll still play serviceable. But in a 5-point spread, based on whoever the Zestmeisters second quarterback is, that's going to be very key. I'm still taking the Zestmeisters to win this one in a 5-point spread over the Groundhogs, who will head to the losers finale. Loser of that will lose the league, but I'm taking the Zestmeisters in a close one, but still, give me the Zestmeisters. Now we move on to our next matchup, and it's the battle for Shelley's Fork. That's right, it is back, ladies and gentlemen. The battle for Shelley's Fork is here, and can Shelley's Fork finally be returned to the Flying Squirrels? They take on the Empire for the 9th time in the series history, and the Empire are a perfect 8-0, and it's been a rivalry that has been dominated by the Empire. They've owned it They are 8-0, and Shelley's Fork has been claimed 8 times. It has not returned home yet. Can the Flying Squirrels get it done? Well, we look at this, and it's been a tough series to navigate, but I think, Baker Mayfield, Saquon Barkley, Justin Jefferson, Puka Nacua all play great this week. They've got good matchups. I think Jared Goff regresses a lot this week. You kind of notice that where he goes above 30, and then he'll play for like 10 or 13. I think we see that 10 or 13 game. And then you look at the Flying Squirrels. I think Herbo plays well. Chase Brown continues to find the end zone as the only back in Cincinnati. And then James Conner goes above 20 against a bad Carolina team. St. Brown continues on the pace he's at. I like both these matchups, and I think it'll be close. I think in a 6-point spread, though, I'm taking the Empire to continue to dominate this series, a perfect 9-0, and hold on to Shelley's Fork. Now we move on to what we call the consolation game, the losers of the first round, and it's the 2 best offensive teams. So a fun consolation game between the Brisbane Bay Bandicoots and the Ithaca Iguanas. Of course, the best offenses in the league, and they split their 2024 campaign 1-1. But it is the Bandicoots leading the all-time series 5-2. This is another meeting from those 2021 times, the first year of the league. So it's really fun to see these callbacks to the 2021 season. But these are 2 really high-powered offenses. I like both sides to play pretty solid this week. I think, the quarterback play for the Iguanas, both of them will go above 20+. Kamara has a great game. No Montgomery, so it'll be Bucky Irving who plays serviceable. I like CeeDee Lamb to go above 20, and I like Brock Bowers to have a bounce-back game, and I like Tyreek to have a big game. On the other side for the Bandicoots, though, the matchups are there too. I love both quarterbacks going above 20, Jordan Love and Kyler Murray. I love Bijan to go above 20+ this week. I think he has a monster game against the New York Giants. Kyron Williams finds the end zone. I think Devontae Adams doesn't go for 40, but he goes pretty close to 20. I think Jamar Chase goes above 20 this week. I think Malik Neighbors goes above 20 this week. So some really good, tight matchups, but in a 1-point spread in a monster scoring matchup. I'm taking the Ithaca Iguanas. It'll be, bittersweet win for them because both teams scored a ton. Probably should have continued in this playoffs, but they just lost because, the lower seed showed up and they did what they needed to do. So give me the Iguanas in a 1-point spread. So that brings us to the playoff bracket. We'll start with the 2 versus the 6 seed, the Cave Shrimp, the Bunnies. A historic matchup where the Cave Shrimp have dominated in the regular season. They are 2-0 in 2024. They are 6-0 all-time in the regular season, but the 2 playoff matches they have taken against the Bunnies, they are 0-2. The only times the Bunnies have won are in the postseason when it matters. This is a rematch from the 2021 championship rematch where the Bunnies won 174-136. So the Cave Shrimp are looking for revenge. They are looking for their first postseason win against the Bunnies. It's tough to beat a team 3 times, and after the performance the Cave Shrimp had last week, can they show up? Or can the Bunnies continue this Cinderella run? Well, looking at it, I think Purdy and Russell Wilson both go above 10 fantasy points this week. They both had terrible games last week. Jonathan Taylor gets in the end zone. He holds on to the football, and Josh Jacobs continues on his 20+ tear. I think both receivers, Garrett Wilson and Khalil Shakir, play serviceable this week. And Trey McBride against the Carolina Panthers. He has had over 84 targets. He has almost 1,000 yards and 0 receiving touchdowns. This is the week he gets into the end zone against a terrible Carolina team. I think he has a big week. On the other side, for the Bunnies, C.J. Stroud. Does he show up in the playoffs? I don't think so still. I think Matt Stafford does, though. Derrick Henry, what is terrifying to me is that Derrick Henry had a terrible game last week fantasy-wise. That just makes me feel like he is ready to implode this week and have a 20+, 30+ game, which is terrifying to me. So I take Derrick Henry as a monster game. Probably the top scorer of the week, honestly. Aaron Jones and A.J. Brown play well. And I think Laporta's found his stride. He's going to look like Laporta from last season. But in a 4-point spread, I'm taking the Bay City Bunnies. The Cinderella run continues. I think the Cave Shrimp have played hard this season, but the lineup just isn't there. The matchups aren't there come round 2. The Bunnies, because of Derrick Henry, get it done. The impending doom of Derrick Henry, it's in the gut, and it's terrifying. So give me the Bay City Bunnies to be a perfect 3-0 in the postseason, but a 0-6 in the regular season against the Cave Shrimp. That brings us to our final matchup. The 1 seed, the Rocky River Rough Riders, the defensive masterminds of the league, take on another low-scoring offense in the defending champions, the Michigan Avengers. Now, the Avengers lead the all-time series 6-1. It's not close. But the lone victory for the Rocky River Rough Riders came in the 2021 playoffs. Again, we go back to the year 2021. There's a lot of history there for this year's bracket. They beat the Avengers 152-120 to claim 3rd place. This is going to be a fun matchup. Not because Josh Allen is Josh Allen, but because the Michigan Avengers are trying to defend their championship and they've got some things going their way. Because no David Montgomery means I think Jahmyr Gibbs goes for above 25 this week. He's the lone back. He's going to get everything this week. I don't think Patrick Mahomes is playing, so I think it's Drake May this week. He plays fine. Aaron Rodgers continues to play well. Breece Hall plays serviceable. Mike Evans plays well, and so does DJ Moore. But I think Jahmyr Gibbs is really working well for the Avengers right now, despite losing Mahomes. It might be better because Drake May scored more points overall than Patrick Mahomes has pretty much every week. On the other side for the Rocky River Rough Riders, I take back Derrick Henry being the top scorer of the week because there's Josh Allen, who's scored 40-plus the past 2 weeks. I think he scores above 30 this week because he plays the Patriots. I think he kills it again. So no game is over because Josh Allen is inevitable and is going to become the most hated player in fantasy football because he literally is. So Josh Allen will score insane and carry the Rocky River Rough Riders. Bo Nix plays well. Joe Mixon plays well. Drake London, now with Michael Penix being named the starting quarterback, plays so-so. We really have to see how their connection is. Jerry Jeudy has another monster game, and Garendo plays well. But in a 3-point spread, I love Jahmyr Gibbs on the one side, and Josh Allen stands on the other side. We all know what Josh Allen has done this season. In a close game, I am taking the 1-seeded Rocky River Rough Riders to end the run for the Michigan Avengers to go back-to-back. The Rough Riders will face the Bunnies in the championship game is my prediction. The Cinderella against the defensive mastermind. That's what I'm going with. Josh Allen carries the Rough Riders to the championship game. So, in recap, the Zestmeisters win. The Empire wins Shelley's Fork for the 9th time in a row. The Iguanas win over the Bandicoots in an absolute monster slugfest. The Bunnies upset the 2-seeded Cave Shrimp, and the defensive Rocky River Rough Riders, carried by Josh Allen, will take down the reigning Michigan Avengers. Those are my predictions. Let me know in the comments below what you think. And let me know, do you agree? Do you disagree? How broken is Josh Allen, and will he win a fantasy award this year? Let me know in the comments below. Who do you think your championship matchup is? Is it Avengers Cave Shrimp? Is it Bunnies Rough Riders? Is it Bunnies and Avengers? Is it Cave Shrimp and Avengers? Or is it Cave Shrimp and Rough Riders? That rivalry, the Founders rivalry meets. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Who are you rooting for? Did your team lose in the first round of the playoffs? Or are you still going? Let me know in the comments below. And everybody, I wish you luck this week. And until next week, we'll see you real soon. Have a good one.